Okay, I'm going to dig up an oxalis here and find the rhizomes or the tubers that are inside. But in my last video, which was digging up Achimenes rhizomes and digging up some Oxalis Triangularis rhizomes, I mentioned the foliage is purple and looks like a folded up butterfly. And so this plant, even though it's pretty dead looking, it still has some intact leaves here, so I thought I'd show you those. These are folded up now. You can see they look almost like moths or butterflies. And you could see what I was telling you in the last video. They have this purple color, which is really pretty. But as they get faded out and die, you can see that underneath it has this sort of greenish color that, which makes me think maybe they were originally a green triangularis that got bred to become purple. That's my guess. And see how it has this like little triangle inside of a triangle on the leaves. And when they open, it's like they're floating and they're flying, and they close up in the rain or at nighttime. And then they have these cute little flowers. They're really delicate and small. They don't necessarily look like they belong to the same plant, but it really put out a bunch of flowers at the end of the season when it was quite cold outside here in New York. But it was like it liked the cold to a certain point, and then they got pretty dead looking, the greens. Here's a little flower that popped out and didn't get around to blooming. I guess if I left it, it might. Well, I don't know if it would still. So anyway, I was surprised on the last video how big the tubers actually get. I didn't expect that for some reason. And I'll see if I can dig some out here so you can see on this plant, you know, what's under there. What's the root that's growing this plant? They're easy to grow. Oh, this one, see, look, this is interesting. This one looks more like a rhizome with kind of lobes to it, little, like a pine cone kind of thing. So I will keep that. I will keep that to try and grow for next year. I'm going to pinch off those leaves and so on, those little branches. And we'll see if I can't find a tuber in here too, because the other one had what looked like little potatoes growing, little sweet potatoes almost shaped. And here's another rhizome. So maybe the rhizome is first, and then the rhizome, if left in the fall, produces a tuber. This is just a theory. I don't know. Maybe they're deeper in the pot and I need to one-handedly here find them. There's another rhizome, if you can see it there. Yep. And I'll go a little deeper this time and see if I pull out a tuber as well. Cleaning off some of this soil clinging to it. Nope, there's one of those, a smaller, couple tubers right at the bottom of the plants. Looks like they've got little like hair-like roots going off this rhizome. So we'll keep those two here. These were my Achimenes rhizomes from the last video. All right, so let's look a little deeper here. Might have to go right to the bottom of the pot to see if any of these had time to produce a, whoop, there's another one. Had time to produce those tubers I was talking about. Oh, I feel one. I feel something bigger anyway. What is it? Where is it? I don't know. Sometimes my soil gets acorns dropping in it from the trees that are around my deck. So maybe I found one of those. This is a rhizome. And not much, but maybe enough to save. That might be able to produce a plant too. I thought I felt something deeper in there that was bigger and healthier. That feels like just a wood chip or something. Okay. For those of you who didn't see the last video, I pulled these out of a different pot, and that's what, there you see the rhizome on top, and underneath the tuber growing out of it. They're funny looking things. Humanoid. They're humanoid looking. But I don't really know what the secret is. If there's a time element, like some of them are just further along, and that's why I'm getting tubers in that other plant, or if yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's desirable to have the tubers to produce new Oxalis Triangularis, or if the rhizomes are really enough. But either way, unless I find out otherwise, I'm keeping both of them in some vermiculite over the winter here in New York, and I'm gonna try and keep them in a cool place. I might put them in my crisper drawer in a Ziploc with just a tiny bit of moisture, and see what I can have that survives the winter and is able to be planted in the spring. And it's possible. I know I have a friend who's got a different kind of oxalis, a green one, and hers is a house plant, so she keeps it, and she's local here, nearby me in New York, and she keeps hers inside. So I guess they can be a house plant, but you should know that they are technically how would you say it, poisonous. Not that you probably need to worry. I wouldn't, if I had like toddlers or anything, I probably wouldn't have them in the house. I have a cat, so I considered that and decided I wasn't going to try and make them a year-round plant in the house. I think she's smart enough, my cat, not to eat something that is poisonous. But who knows? It's not the kind of thing you want to find out the hard way. So here I'm pulling up another root ball from another plant that I had. I had several of them, and you can see here sticking out of this one is there's a rhizome right there. Actually, there might be a whole bunch of them joined together here. Oh yeah, so there's the start of a tuber. You can see that? So this is not quite as big as that other one I showed you that was growing off that rhizome, but this one is definitely growing a tuber out of the middle of this. This might be all one big root clump here. So try and clean some of that dirt off. So yeah, they're interesting plants, these oxalis. They come in different colors. Don't plant the green ones together with the purple ones. I have the purple ones, the Oxalis Triangularis, because I have heard that the green ones take over. If they sort of, your whole pot will end up green. In other words, don't know exactly how that works, but since the purple ones are kind of cool and I think a little bit more unusual than the green ones, I don't want to turn them all into green ones by putting them together. So I plant my oxalis together with my Achimene. Achimenes. And my Achimene are purple. The leaves are green on the top, purple on the underside, and the flowers are sort of this beautiful, bright, purpley violet, or I should say purpley pink kind of color. So they look nice together with the Oxalis's purple leaves like that. All right,